But firstly, I will tell you where I came from and then let you know where I went to. My father works in police, so I had no choice in which city I grew up in. Chandrapur, Ahilyanagar, every single time, new school, new uniform, new teachers who wondered what my name was for about a month. And also kids who have known each other for years. So I had to walk into a room full of strangers and make it look easy. Easy, right? So in this process, I just realized that friendship weren't permanent for me, for time being at least. So that's not a sad conclusion, it's just a fact. The cycle was same: arrival, connection, departure, repeat until Pune.
पवन चलत आलिकियो चंद्रिकेत पवन चलत आलिकियो चंद्रिकेत पवन चलत आलिकियो चंद्रिकेत चलो मितुआ बलम बगुआ ए चलो मितुआ बलम बगुआ हम तुम मधुआ पिए कर रंग रलिया पवन चलत आलिकियो चंद्रिकेत पवन चलत.
At 16, I did something that I want to frame correctly before I let you know how it ended. I went to a Chinese school. Nobody forced me to, nobody pushed me to. I just signed up the papers and packed my bags and went there. The plan was simple: 2 years of discipline, crack the civil services examinations, defense services examinations to be precise, and serve the country. I was so sure about myself that I find it funny now. I gave the exam, but the result slip said, nope, gave it again and failed again. Like, I want to be concise about this fact that everyone tries to be romantic about the failures, take a lessons out of it, don't look stupid, the universe is redirecting you. Look, all of it is bullshit. It broke something specific in me. Like, I had a genuine belief that I was the smartest person in whichever room I entered in. I mean, come on, give me a benefit of a doubt because I'm thinking about it retrospectively. But yeah, that was my genuine belief. But the result said, nope, not good, man, you got to do more. So I enrolled myself in a subject called statistics, which someone had told me that it is numbers game which deals with human behavior. I mean, come on, who doesn't find it interesting enough to get into? But I also enrolled myself in civil services preparation foundation course, which was for about 3 years, the UPSC prep, which we called it. Every Saturday, Sunday, for about 6, 7 hours, I used to be there, learn about different subjects related to India, history, geography, and whatever there was. But to tackle that exam, to tackle that syllabus, which is everything under the sun, my confidence was falling too short for it. So I just gave it up. I mean, I was what, 20 years old and already collecting evidence against a case against myself. And then COVID hit. I went so inside my own head that my father got worried. A man who has spent or dealt with everything in his life got worried. One afternoon, he took me to police ground with to play cricket with his colleague. But as soon as I saw people, I just ran off from there as quickly as possible. He saw that. I mean, he did saw it. And a man who has spent his career building or stabilizing his own family around everything else and not letting anything affect them got worried. And he noticed that his son has become unreachable, and that information you can't unknow. So I did what I do when I don't know what to do. I read, I watched books, long videos which ask tough questions about your own self. And somewhere in all of that, I made a decision: no more measuring stick, no more prejudgment, no more listening to songs on headphones to avoid people who haven't earned my standards. Let people be as they are. I told myself I am the sum of all the good things that people have, which I adore and respect, which means I have to actually let people in. So I took a bus to Pune with my friend Amol. I was 21. After a long time, I was genuinely curious about going to someplace new and to see what was on the other side. And if you know this road, this was the first place we actually been in Pune. Pune opened the way good cities open, all at once and without warning. The first 3 or 4 months were the most effortless I have been around people. I was warm, I was present, and I was interested in every one of them without any measuring stick or whatsoever. 3 days into the city, and someone asked me that, would you like to go on a trek? And I mean, why not? 5 o'clock in the morning, and Siagat. There was a girl in the group who arrived late to the meeting point itself. I was so furious. Like, how can someone not be on time? And also couldn't even manage the descent. Clearly, had not done a trek before. Old Prasad would have just dismissed her and not even considered talking to her because who likes to talk to a person who is not punctual? The new version of Prasad looked at her, talked with her. I mean, it sounds so funny and sounds so small, but it was not small actually. That was the most disciplined thing I have ever done after leaving science school. It was a small victory for me, but nobody saw it. That's the thing about becoming a better person, I think, because no one is counting the reps you are taking to become a better person than who you were actually yesterday. By the time the semester settled, I had a group, people mostly from Pune who had known each other or were in the same college. I was the outsider who had specifically come for this particular course and knew no one apart from my friend Amol. Most people in that position would feel small about it, but I chose to absorb it and level up instead. That was a smart move on my part. I was genuinely happy. In a way I hadn't been in years. We went on treks, we sat through lectures, we argued about nothing and everything. We made plans. We were the people in 20s, all in the same city for same 2 years, and we were for a while each other's people. I made the WhatsApp group for us. I named it. I called it My Peace because after the lockdown, after the withdrawal, after the cricket ground incident which I came back from, this was it. Finally, my group, finally, my people. Hold that name, we will come right back to it. In the middle of this, there was a girl. Of course, there was a girl. I won't give you the name, I will give you something more useful as to how you can trickle down your choices of women. She was the kind of person who had a plan and executed it to its fullest. She was the kind of a person who was quite confident in her abilities and whatever action she's going to take. So that is the most attractive quality a person can have actually. And that's what I thought at that time. And it is also the most dangerous quality a person can have because he or she can never look straight into her or his action. One day she planned an entire afternoon to roam around the oldest parts of the city. And to be really honest, it was quite sweet to walk and talk for hours and look around the city, how it has been from what last 400 years. Yeah, that was kind of a good day. At the end of it, she hugged me. Like, yeah, it was just formality. I thought so. And I mean, she did mention that she had a boyfriend at that point of time. By this time, her birthday was coming up, so I thought I would make some present for her. I just sat on my desk until 5 in the morning and drew something on a piece of paper for which I traveled from my hometown till this city and gave it to her. That's it. That was the transaction. But it is still with her, and sometimes I think about it to get it back and just burn it. But for that, I would need to do something which I am not comfortable with. Anyways, she became quite distant after that, and I was like, what happened? She told me I was becoming too attached instead of just what happens when you start to care about someone. And she was not wrong though. I mean, it was completely on me because she was describing something real that was going on. That one morning, she called and we went for breakfast, just the two of us, and she told me that she has broken up with her boyfriend. I mean, yeah, so nothing. I just thought to myself in those days that Prasad, this is the time from which you can level up your self development by just asking. I mean, I did ask, and she said no. And this was the best thing that has happened to me in a long time because a closed door is at least a door on which you can fucking stop knocking on. What I found out later was, and this is where the story gets less funny, was that by the next day or something like that, she was with someone who I know very well, who I knew very well. Past. I won't tell you more than that. I will just keep you at it, but I will tell you what came after that. I had to watch it every single day in front of my own eyes. The two of them in the same room I was in, the same plans, the same places, the same fucking ordinary Tuesday afternoons. Having the thing I was told it was not available. There is a specific kind of suffering reserved for the person who stay in the same room like this guy, what they couldn't have. You smile, you participate, you laugh at exactly the same point like everybody else, and underneath all of it, like every single day, the heaviness is still there, still in front of you, still being witnessed, and you become over time very good at carrying something heavy. Now I need you to tell you something very important. Not a life lesson, not a turning point or something like that. A morning that broke something that I had spent considerable of my time in it. If you know Pune, you might know Manachi Ganpati as well. The five Manachi Ganpati, the five. Most of the people who come to Pune for the Ganpati festival, most of them try to go at night and watch all five of them, or go in the morning, like early morning at 4 o'clock or something like that, and go and watch them, take photos, go with their friends, family, or something like it is like a happy period for them. And I had also thought about doing something like that. And so four of us, like the three people from my college, from my class, we sat at mess for eating our lunch. So we were just discussing about how we can go and watch all the Ganpatis and click photos in the rain or in the night as well. So at the lunch table, we decided that we would go next morning at 4 o'clock or something like that. And I was the one who was living closest to the Ganpatis, and they were all going to come. They were going to receive me and head on to the Ganpatis. So that was the exact plan which was given to me and which was decided amongst ourselves. This is where things get tricky. So in the morning, I thought I missed my alarm and I woke up in the morning. I just checked my phone. There was no message, no calls, nothing like that. So I just thought everyone forgot about it. Maybe the plan has been postponed for the next day or something like that, because I might have received a call or a message at least to let me know that the plan has been cancelled. So I just got ready, went to the college, and there it was. People are gathered over there, like from the group. They were watching those photos. So I just peeked into it and I looked what kind of photos they're watching. And those photos were the one in which I was supposed to be. Like those three went for that. And I'm just standing over there and watching this. All like I think the photos clicked and all documented, all the last night photos or early morning photos, whichever you want. I want to tell you about this moment because I didn't feel hurt about. You see, be with me. Hurt is when something unexpected hits. This was completely different. Like looking at those photographs gave me a thought that something had happened overnight, and it was decided that I'm not going to be the part of that particular plan. And I just thought something was decided, not about Ganpati visit and all, but about me. That you are not the kind of person who people would call and take you there, or like you are the kind of person who sets up alarm and wait for someone to come and pick up you. I stood there, looked at the photos, and yeah, I was just standing there. And I said nothing because what do you say? Like what? Like what is there to say anymore? Because the evidence is right there. Because and none of them seems to register that this guy was there on that lunch table who was deciding all this plan to go there. And I was just standing over there looking at something in which I was supposed to be included in. Like I get it, really a small thing to say, but it was just not. And there's more actually. And I found it later, like on the next day, which is worse. One of my other friend, he saw five people from our group, not three. And why would that other friend know these people? Because they were always on my WhatsApp status, Instagram stories, photos, videos. They were always there, like YouTube vlogs as well. So people know them, like they are my friends. Like this is the. Can you imagine? So I got to know that there weren't three people who went there. There were five. Can you imagine? In that night, it was decided that no, we won't go three of them. We will go five. I sat through rest of the college day and I was just thinking to myself like, and I said nothing and I did nothing and I smiled when I was being smiled at, because the new Prasad, you fucking moron, the no judgment, let people be version of themselves, had made a decision about how he would react to it and how he would move through the world, and that decision was holding on a slightly loosely tied thread. The next day, I just asked one of them directly, like, bro, what happened? Why didn't you call me? Like, was I not included in your plan? We were making that plan. So I assumed that I was supposed to be there. And he just looked at me, standing 2 feet apart. He straight up lied about, not evasively, not I forgot or some random bullshit reason, a direct specific line. Like looking at each other. He gave me a specific sequence of events that happened at that night or early morning that required him to believe either I was stupid enough to accept it or just too weak to just be a pushover, because I was neither, and I said nothing. And later at that day, the two people who later joined in that plan, I asked one of them, like, what happened? One of my friends saw you, all five of them. So what exactly happened? I just asked it, like, smiling. Can you imagine? And she just told me that why is your friend trying to instigate something between us? Instigate what? I need you to understand what this exact sentence did to me. It took the thing which I was feeling, like the real thing, which I had seen with my own eyes, which required no explanation from whoever, and it was reframed as if it was a manipulation trick, as if I was a puppet, as if I could not be trusted with my own emotions and judgment and whatever the perceptions of the events which I had witnessed. This was the most disrespectful thing which had ever happened to me in my life. Like the bar was in hell. I cannot imagine doing this to someone, even to my enemy from my entire life. I wouldn't do it to anyone. The sheer disrespect was into my bones. Like I could feel my blood boiling, like my head was getting out of control, like the temperature, the sheer temperature in my mind was just boiling, because every other difficult situation or a person I have ever faced, like all the results who had gone against my own performance in the examinations, any person who has insulted me in a particular situation, every rejection, every closed door I faced, those were about the situation. That sentence was about who I was, like the sheer integrity of my own being was challenged in front of my own eyes. Like it was said, you're not someone whose experience is valid, you're not someone whose anger is earned, you are being operated by someone else, you're not in charge of yourself. Mind you, I was 22 years, I had many years of my examinations and my job ahead of me. But I had walked into this city wanting nothing more than to be the version of myself that could let people be as who they are and not hold any measuring stick against anyone, because this was who I wanted to. And I stood there in that tea break, smiled, said something dismissive, and just let it go. Because that's what you do when you understand in a single sentence that the room you thought you were in does not actually exist. I went to the library that night and it was raining out there. I want you to describe these 2 days very carefully, because people think that I could not study. It's just a slight inconvenience excuse. This is not what this was. I sat at that desk, putting my head into the fucking textbook, trying to read a paragraph. I read it like 15 times, but it wouldn't just go into my fucking head because I was just distracted to hell. Because the part of me which processes information was just overloaded with the specific thought of those photographs. Like those photographs were just coming into my mind whenever I was between two lines, between two thoughts. And the most important, the tea break, the sentence, the sheer disrespect which I felt in that very moment. I couldn't eat properly. I didn't go to college for 2 days. Like I just couldn't make myself to go there and see those faces. It was just getting impossible for me to watch those. And somewhere and some point, just sitting in that library, watching those books, watching those people surrounding me who were trying to study as well like me, and the person who was supposed to study, like the sole aim of coming to this college was to study, and that was the thing. I wasn't able to do it. I was just sitting there looking at the rain and just replaying that tea break, those photographs, endless of time. The worst part was not the betrayal. The worst part was a specific feeling of having been taking the genuine effort to build that relationship, to make an effort for that relationship, and who suppressed every old instinct, who showed up, who gave energy and time, took photographs, took videos. Like I get it. They didn't ask for it. My fault at best. And also the name which I gave my piece to that group, and standing in that porch of that library, watching the rain in the night, I just thought the effort which was being put by me in a room where I don't even belong. Third night, someone from the group came actually and he apologized for it. I looked at him And I just thought, yeah, man, you are saying sorry for this, but it is too late. You did the right thing, but you are just too late for this. I said it was fine, but clearly I was not fine with it. But it was too late for fine or not fine kind of situation. And that question was just irrelevant at this point. Something had already, without any announcement, without any drama, without any ceremony, you would expect from a death. That was the night the new Prasad who wanted to flourish with those values had died. Everything before that, all the openness, all the warmth, all the energy, the version of me that walked into Pune city 3 days before the Siagat trek, everything was real. I need to say that clearly. It was real, every bit of it. I took every effort to make myself into that version. And after that night, what remained was all the performance. A very convincing performance, but still a performance. All the love I had was just gone. It dried up instantly, like vaporized. I stayed in that group for another year and a half. I take full accountability for that. I saw what it was. I continued. I made plans, took photographs, took videos, showed up and was present and played the role of the person who hadn't been in that library for that night and who was unable to study. Why? Because leaving is a skill and that I didn't learn quickly. There is a final note to this. The group name was my piece. I named it because after the lockdown, after the cricket incident, after looking inward for about a year and all the COVID things and bullshit, I thought this was it. Finally, my people. I named the WhatsApp group after what I found in that situation. And someone told me a story about this time that a person is trying to shoo pigeons away who are poking him into his head and he is doing like this. Instead of just shooing those pigeons, he could have just walked into a shed and see if the pigeons are still there or not. Point being, if you are in a situation where you think you are trying too much or you are putting too much effort into it, you just remove yourself from that situation and see the situation just solves itself. You don't have to take any such action to solve that situation. One more thing, one person after the college started living with me and we were both working at that time together in different companies but living at the same place. Might be the time had passed so that he was good enough to open with me like what it was at that period of time, and he did admit that it was wrong on his part as well that this thing happened. But he did mention about the other people as well. They were never there for you or for anything real you were trying to put in, only for the things you provided. Your opinions didn't matter. Your problems complete disregard. Look, I might be wrong, but this was it how it felt at that particular situation and when I was being surrounded by them, or even if I was just there in that vicinity, I used to feel it like my gut was just not accepting the fact that it is normal, something is off in this. And when he told me this, and you know what I thought, they're completely correct and they're not even wrong doing this. Why wouldn't anyone take advantage of something so great at having and not even investing emotionally, like you are just getting it free? Big brain moments.
मैं आपसे मिलना चाहता हूँ और आप मुझसे नहीं मिलना चाहते हैं। हाँ, और मैं बार 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 जा रहा हूँ। तुम्हें मैं तो बहुत ही घटिया इंसान हूँ ना। अगर आप मुझसे मिलना नहीं चाहते तो मैं भी आपसे मिलना नहीं चाहता। खत्म हो गई बात।
I am an idiot for not letting it go sooner. Not their fault, it was completely on me. It took me nearly 2 years to get clarity on this thought. And somewhere sitting with this thought, I understood something that I hadn't before. I was opening a door I had kept shut for years. That decision gave me exactly what I was looking for: warmth, belonging, a room with my name in it. But there is something nobody tells you about opening up. The moment you truly attach to someone, not perform it, not gesture towards it, but actually let something matter, you have created the exact size and shape of a future loss. The happiness and the wounds are not two separate events at two separate moments. They are the same things. Look at from different angles. Before you attach, you are safe. You cannot lose what you never let in. And after you attach, you have something to lose. And the size of what you can lose is exactly proportional to how far you let something in. Look, this is not a warning about attaching to someone someone, it is the honest cost of it. I made a WhatsApp group called My Peace, and the reason the library felt the way it did, the rain, the 2 nights without sleeping, the just standing in that rain was not despite the fact that it was real. It was real. The price of belonging is always paid at the exit. I didn't know this when I arrived here. I know it now. Smart guy. Took fucking 3, 4 years to. And knowing it doesn't make the next door safer. It just means you know exactly how much risk you are taking when you knock. Somewhere in the middle of all this, I mean somewhere, because I cannot give you the exact moment or time when I found a home, not a flat, not a rented home, a home. I wanted to tell you about this very carefully, because this is the part of the last 5 years that I am most aware of mishandling if I rush it. There was a family in this city and a warmth in that home that did not perform itself. That distinction matters to me. I have been in many warm seeming places. This was a different thing. This was a warmth that didn't need you to notice it. It just was there. I started going there for lunch that ended at midnight, for conversations about everything and nothing. The food was the way I liked it, which sounds like a small thing, which it was not at all. After years of eating whatever was available for me, or from the mess, or from the street food, someone paid attention to what I preferred and just made it that way. Except sambar. Whenever the worst happened in the college, the library, the rain, the days I couldn't function, I went there. I sat in that living room and I said what I actually felt without editing it. Nobody told me I was being too much. I mean, come on. Nobody was suggesting I was instigating. I had not had a place like that in years. In the middle of losing one thing, I think I did gain one and quietly replaced it with that. I didn't think about it too much at that time, and now you see the pattern. It's always the same thing. I'm investing too much and not looking too deep into it. I mean, it's not a good thing. If you ask, why would someone invest so much without thinking too deep about it? Like, you are thinking deep about it when you are doing so much or getting so much from them. I mean, it's pointless, right? Don't you think, Prasad, this is just getting too much out of hand, even though you are so smart as.
तू रोशनी तो हम भी आँच हैं तू रागिनी तो हम पास हैं पहली पहली बार तुझसे मिले नैना नींद नहीं आवे नहीं मिले चैना पूरी रात करे बात जैसे तोता मैना कहूँ और जैसे मोर नाचे तेरे लिए ना हम चोरी चोरी चुपके से आए ना तेरी कारी कारी.
There was someone I had known since the first day in this city, or first year in this city. We spent time together, talked about things that mattered, the kind of conversation that don't have any agenda of their own, that just go where they go and end somewhere you didn't expect it to be. Somewhere in those 3 years, I got too used to it. Like, I did convey her that this is not the way it should be, because I was getting too used to it. Like, I knew it was not going to go anywhere in the future, so I just wanted to clear it up. But you can guess what happened after it. It didn't go the other way as you are thinking. It went to the other way, which I was also not expecting it to go. Because the day I conveyed her that this is what I am thinking, I won't be able to continue this. Yeah, that day she didn't do anything or say anything to me. She just went, yeah. And the next day, she came up with a piece of paper, gave it to me, and went back. She came back angry that I didn't show any emotions as such, because I couldn't show any emotions, because that was a relief for me. That, yeah, the things I'm thinking about that particular relation is the same way she is feeling. The major point for the relief was that she felt it too, and that was the exact reason for which I felt that relief. That's what all I wanted to know. Everything after that was just math. We cycled in and out for that next period together whenever we met, apart when we decided, back together when the decision became impossible to hold. One night somewhere, she said she loved me, not I like you, not that you matter to me or anything that like that bullshit. The actual phrase. We came back to the city and decided not to speak again. Guess what? 2 months of silence, the paths crossed again, and we were back at it because it was impossible to hold or not talk to each other when you are in love. Like, you can't describe love as such. She had a world which she was building towards, a faith at the center of it. Her children raised entirely inside it. This was not a declaration aimed towards me. It was just who she was, said out loud, the way people say things when they are not yet aware of the person who is sitting right in front of them, who might be listening differently than they appear to be. I registered it, filed it correctly, told myself known, acknowledged, and immovable. Like fact, actual fact. Like, you don't stand or hold ground on any base. And still, I continued walking towards it anyway because humans are not spreadsheets. You can file something correctly and still walk towards it. We cycled in and out for years. Years, I mean, what, like 1 year. By December, I gave her a clear choice. No drama, no long argument, just the thing that was true, said out loud. Finally, after the math had been done and redone, and the answer kept coming out the same. The first 2 or 3 years of the life together would have been love. I would love to see that because it was going to be the thing that we had right now. And I could see what was on the other side of those 2 or 3 years. Two people who do not fundamentally respect each other's inner world, inner life. I had done the math enough times to know what that road looks like ahead. I gave her a clear choice. She didn't choose me. Bit of a stretch for that sentence, but still true. Did it hurt? Yes. I'm not going to dress that up. The logic was right. The road I calculated was real. And still, it did hurt. We didn't need a scene. We are too familiar for the scenes. Too much of the same thought process, the same directness, the same way of seeing something clearly, then just stopping. We both knew what the conversation was about. We didn't need to describe it to each other. Out of all the things I lost in the last 5 years, the group, the colleagues who went abroad for their studies, the exam, the girl from the first or second year, this is the one I feel. Not because it was dramatic, because the years were longer, the conversations were deeper, the version of myself I was around that person was genuinely I liked. And you cannot replace that with logic. Come on. Even when the logic is correct, even when you can see clearly that the road you chose is the right road, you can still feel what's not on it. I mean, come on. You get a sense of things that life could have been much easier when we have someone to be with who makes it easier for us, not difficult. I mean, there are many people out there who still dread to choose a person and live a life along with them. And here was a person who I wanted my life to be along with, but maybe the differences were quite a stretch. It could have been maybe next time. Maybe the search for this person is going to continue now. I mean, no one is going to replace that feeling or something. It is going to be the new person now. Like, whatever it was in the past. That's it.
सरले सारे तेरी ही मागे शपथ गयाची उरते
For around 2 years after I joined my job, I was preparing for my statistics government examination or any type of government examination which I could give, like banking or anything like that. So I want to explain this because it is kind of a loop I was in for almost 2 years, which I could see it clearly that I was clearly in it, and which is the most frustrating kind of a loop. The one you can't name it precisely, but it still can't exit. Every time I thought about committing fully to it by quitting my job and getting into the preparation in the full mode of commitment, I used to think about my defense examination, the one which we gave for the NDA one. I gave it twice, didn't qualify it both of the time. Then I quit the civil services preparation as well in the third year. So I was not able to commit myself to take any chances to quit my stable job and join any preparation for examination. I thought, what if I quit this stable job and fail that examination and I don't have anything to my hand at all? This fear didn't push me to work harder, it was just pushing me into the other direction of preparations, which was exactly not committing to it, and which reduced my results, obviously, which confirmed the fear I had from the beginning of it. The loop, a clean, obvious, and completely sealed, which I stayed in for almost 2 years. How? I don't know. If you have any idea how I got stuck into it, please enlighten me. Then I gave one examination that I hadn't specifically planned for, and I was just knocking another door to see if I can knock this out. I was sitting in a Chinese restaurant eating noodles with my father, and then I checked up for the result of that examination. I just got a notification that the result has been declared. So I looked for the result, and lo and behold, I was third in that examination. I mean, come on, who wouldn't be surprised to see that I was third in that examination? I won't tell you about this specific moment because I know how it feels like to want something for so long and to get the dopamine hit of clearing that exact task. I looked at my father, I told him the result has been announced and this and that is the result. I was third. He was clearly proud of it. Like any father would be proud of their children's achievement. And like actually he was proud. But then I recalled the notification which was there, and the positions available for that specific examination were one. So I was third and I was desperately waiting for someone to not take up the position. So I was waiting the above two people who are above in that list specifically would choose to decline the offer and I would get it. But come on, who is going to leave any job and in which they are first in the country? No brainer. I just ate the noodles. We talked about something else after that and just went home. But I decided on that night that this is the last examination I am going to give, and that's it. I'm not going to chase this dopamine hit of clearing one examination and taking up that job. So why not just find a job in private sector? Because I have studied so long, I have completed my master's, so why not just find another job? And I did. For over some time, I gave 20 odd interviews to clear a data analyst role. Man, that was difficult. I cleared every assessment, I cleared every first technical interview round, but something was blocking at the last step of it. Like the second interview round was just not letting me go into that organization. So something was blocking. That gate which was there knew something about me which I didn't every single time. And you start to wonder, like, what is up with this shit? But then finally, it didn't block. Mumbai, like new job. So yeah, Mumbai, new job, miraculous. I don't think it is miraculous, not even dramatic, because it was a quite a consistent thread person who was there behind the scenes from my school days itself. So she gave me the referral for this job and she is still working there. So yeah, thank you. Just a person who was there every time, but not every time. I'm seeing this like a tired man, not a triumphant one, not even a victorious person. Finally, we have a job. Let me tell you how the city was for me for the last 5 years. Separate from all the people in it, like the place, the actual place. I lived alone for almost 4 of those years. Total freedom, the kind that teaches you things about yourself that company or any sort of company cannot. No accountability to anyone, no explainability owed to anyone. Finances careful. I saved more than most of the people of my age or of my salary would even think about saving. No drinking, no smoking. I limit my time as well around the people who do. It's not a judgment I pass, it's just an preference I consistently keep. Every morning I used to run for about 5 kilometers almost every morning. I used to go at around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. The Pune at 6 or 7 in the morning is just a different breed altogether. It's quieter, it's cooler, and more honest. The Pune that exists before everyone wakes up is just different. It doesn't perform. I used to bring every thought I used to have onto the run, and one by one, like an onion peel, I used to unpack each and every layer of that onion of my thoughts, and I used to clear at least one layer out of, because that is the time I actually got my shit together of thinking how I am and who I am. I prayed regularly at Dagudu Shed. I used to go there. It was not a show off. It was just for me. It was not an announcement as such. It was just the part of my faith which is inside me, and it is not something I wear. It is just inside me. I did a theater workshop in my first year of my job, standing in a room, being asked to be present at every possible moment in that workshop. Not to think about presence, but to be it, that transfer everything to it. I recommend it to everyone who wants to feel alive and who are watching their own life from a slight distance and not being present in it. And the city itself, I loved it completely without any qualification. The food, JM Road on Sundays, FC road on weekdays, and the rain which arrives like it means it. The old roads which are been there for what centuries, talking and listening to every conversation happening right there. The hills you forgot to mention until someone mentions it in the conversations, and you suddenly remember like they're right there. I was in the city fully, not like a tourist, not like a passing through, watching everything unfold on my own. The on my own phrase has been in every sentence I write or think about Pune or anything related to Pune. Last year in 2025 July, my father was transferred to Pune, and after living 4 years independently, I was suddenly back to the family. I mean, yeah, good food, people who wanted to know how my day was, the small ordinary texture of being in a family. All good things, but the freedom, real freedom of going whenever I want to go out of my house, it is still there. It's just I have an obligation now to tell someone or to inform someone that I am, yeah, going around. Look, having a choice is a good thing than not having a choice. I didn't notice it going away. I just noticed one day that I was not thinking about going anywhere else and just getting back to the home as soon as possible. A small hesitation of trying something new every single time. 4 years of building your independent version of yourself, and suddenly you're back to the family. The version you almost forget that it did exist. Both are true, both are good, but they can't fully occupy the same space. Like, do you get it what I mean by this? Maybe Mumbai is going to be about that itself. Finding a room again, new city. So now that I am in Mumbai, you can see right behind me. I never really like two things. One is medical sector and second one is Mumbai. So two of my first two jobs, first one was in hospital and second one in Mumbai. Looks like my dreams are not working anymore or my plans are not working anymore. Clearly, I'm not the in charge of my plans, and that's fine. Someone called Mumbai the city of dreams. So maybe I don't know what my dreams are anymore, but maybe the city of dreams might make me stumble upon my dreams. The Defense Forces examination didn't work, the civil services didn't work, and the one examination in which I came third didn't work. So, yeah, maybe Mumbai has that answer for my dream. Maybe the dream I'm looking for is not the dream I had in the past. I said that quite lightly. Maybe I should take that thought very seriously from now on. Maybe Mumbai is going to bring something best out of me, possibly. I have been thinking about a lot of things, about a lot of patterns actually, because I have left many rooms, like father's transfer, schools ending up, colleges ending up, masters ending up, my first job ending up now. The three colleagues with whom I was taking my lunch breaks moved on to different cities and countries, a house that felt like home. And now that I am leaving Pune, the city that watched me leave, and the city that watched me leave and left me behind. The funny thing is, I was never supposed to be staying this long because I was supposed to be coming for the masters for 2 years, but I stayed for 5 years. Pune kept me longer than any city before it because it had things worth staying for, and because losing them is going to take some time for me. Here is what I want to say before I leave actually, and now that I am in Mumbai right now, I made a lighthouse for the people whom I knew barely enough. They kept it. It is still on their wall. I made a portrait overnight. That person still has it. I named a WhatsApp group called My Piece, and for a window, like a small particular window, that is what it is. I made paintings, arranged trip, took photographs, took videos, planned many things, and showed up early for everything which involved me and anyone whom I love. And the honest summary of what I got in written is uneven, to be really honest. The way all the things should be and always are. But there are three people from those 5 years I genuinely find honest. Three people I barely knew at the start of the Pune journey until someone sat me down and asked me directly that who are these people? Like, whom do you think are the most genuine with? The most important learning over the last 5 years might be the man who makes things for everyone is often the last person to notice what he has been given. I will repeat it once again. The most important learning over the last 5 years has been the man who makes things for everyone is often the last person to notice what he has been given. 5 years in Pune, you took a lot. You also gave a lot. And everything you took cleanly. No loose ends, no unfinished sentences. Every door I closed it properly. Except one. The one I passed by every evening or every morning. Maybe I will walk in that place once again. Maybe I will walk out of this city with that one thing unresolved. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to run now. There are two versions of Prasad. One is from the 2021 and one is for the 2026. Now that I am currently living in that version, I have more respect towards the 2020 Prasad, because he was the guy who had some kind of self-respect. Like, he was unabashedly Prasad. He didn't care about anyone else's opinion about him. He was himself. I don't know why, but that every human should experience the kind of self-respect that guy had, the self-esteem that guy had. But now that I am in 2026, this version got absolutely demolished, to be really honest. Like, I don't even believe that this version exists. I hate it. But now that I know what kind of guy I was and what is my role model, like, no one else in this world is my role model apart from that guy which was in 2020. So I just have one question to that guy: